pulling up roots and walking away from just assuming that your core fan base, and the core fan base, core fans, that's the term that I worked at NASCAR for a couple of years in the mid-2000s, and that was the term you always heard. But when you do it all at once, and this is the biggest advice to you, don't do it all at one time. And that's what's happening right now. But if like Texas A&M, there's a cutoff date for people who live and die by that game because they haven't played that game in so long now. And the old gray hairs, with their crimson and burnt orange jackets, they honestly believed in their heart that it wouldn't matter if they took that game away or not. Everyone was still going to believe in it. There's a generation of kids that don't care about that game. I mean, they haven't played it in forever. And so that's what I think you take for granted is, if you're NASCAR and you're wanting to put races out west and whatever else, that's great. But you can't do it at the expense of the people who got you to where you are, because you can't just assume they're going to be there all the time. That's the thing. And I've talked to Nick Saban about that, which is, you can't just assume that core group is always going to be there no matter what you do, because, NASCAR will tell you firsthand, and IndyCar will tell you, and other series will tell you. That's not a fact. I think the NHL will tell you that. If you start pulling up roots in the cities that got you there, moving into markets because, you can sell more ads there, then don't just assume that the old school fan's going to hang around, because they might not. And don't assume the new school fan is going to buy in, because that, those games they're looking at on YouTube and standard definition video, that doesn't mean anything to them at all. That's what their granddad talks about.